Coming up next, it's Late Night Black and White, followed by Pink Panther on Cartoon Network. Coming up next, it's Pink Panther, followed by Droopy on Cartoon Network. Coming up next, it's Droopy, followed by Popeye on Cartoon Network. Coming up next, it's Popeye, followed by Yogi on Cartoon Network. Coming up next, it's Huckleberry Hound, followed by Adam Ant on Cartoon Network. Coming up next, it's Adam Ant, followed by Secret Squirrel on Cartoon Network. Coming up next, it's Secret Squirrel, followed by Rocky and Bullwinkle on Cartoon Network. Coming up next, it's the Rocky and Bullwinkle Show on Cartoon Network. Coming up next, it's Tom and Jerry Kids, followed by Alvin and the Chipmunks on Cartoon Network. Coming up next, it's the Flintstones, followed by the Jetsons on Cartoon Network. Coming up next, it's the Jetsons, followed by Scooby-Doo on Cartoon Network. Coming up next, it's Scooby-Doo, followed by the Acme Hour on Cartoon Network. Coming up next, Scooby-Doo continues, followed by the Acme Hour on Cartoon Network. Coming up next, it's the Acme Hour, followed by the Super Friends on Cartoon Network. Coming up next, it's the Super Friends, followed by Godzilla on Cartoon Network.
Coming up next, it's Godzilla, followed by Toonami on Cartoon Network. Coming up next, it's Toonami, followed by Batman on Cartoon Network.
Coming up next, it's Batman, followed by Beetlejuice on Cartoon Network. Coming up next, it's Beetlejuice, followed by Freakazoid on Cartoon Network. Coming up next, it's Freakazoid, followed by Two Stupid Dogs on Cartoon Network. Coming up next, it's Two Stupid Dogs, followed by Dexter's Laboratory on Cartoon Network. Coming up next, it's Dexter's Laboratory, followed by Cow and Chicken on Cartoon Network. Coming up next, it's Cow and Chicken, followed by Bugs and Daffy on Cartoon Network. Coming up next, it's Bugs and Daffy, followed by Tom and Jerry on Cartoon Network. Coming up next, it's Tom and Jerry, followed by the Flintstones on Cartoon Network. Coming up next, it's the Flintstones, followed by Scooby-Doo on Cartoon Network. Coming up next, it's Scooby-Doo, followed by Dexter's Laboratory on Cartoon Network. Coming up next, it's Dexter's Laboratory on Cartoon Network. Coming up next, it's Cow and Chicken on Cartoon Network.